so much better than it did before when it was vacant.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, I really like it. I think it turned out really, really well.
It really did. It's much larger, it seems to me, when it's got furniture in it.
Yeah, well, vacant homes always seem smaller, and the one concern that we had was that it wasn't going to be enough space for a dining room. And as you can see, there's plenty of space for a dining room.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yay.
Good work.
Thanks. So how did you first hear about us?
We heard about you through David Gorman, who's a client of ours who we do a lot of work with in the city. He's a developer here.
Yeah, he's one of our great clients. And as I recall, when you first used us, you were pretty nervous because you didn't understand the process yourself. You were very apprehensive, wondering if we were going to use the right scale furniture.
That's right. We had a small row house, and I was very much on the line because I had investors to report back to, and so it was nerve-wracking, but that went very well, and the place sold quickly. So, and it looked great too.
How quickly did that sell? Do you recall?
I think that place sold in the first 2 weeks.
Awesome. And do you have, when you're working with your listings and individual homeowners of vacant homes that we stage, is it hard for you to convince them to stage?
I have a mixed bag. I think some people take to it very quickly and they get it. With the prevalence of HGTV and some of these shows, I think a lot of people are aware now of the importance. But there's still some people who are reluctant and who drag their feet because it just seems like one more cost and it's already a somewhat expensive proposition to begin with. So, but once people get on board, I think that everybody's been happy once we've actually gotten the property staged.
Yeah. You bring up cost, and I like, that's an interesting word because I frequently think of staging as an investment because I know the return on their staging investment is going to come back to them at the closing table. Do you see this happening?
Yes, I agree, and I very much promote staging because I think it's so important in the sales process, but some people just have a hard time accepting that or getting their hands around that, but it definitely is true, and I've seen it again and again that when we get the property staged, sellers are able to get more for their property and get their property sold quickly, or more quickly than they would if it were vacant.
And what's the feedback that you get from your homeowners after they've seen their old home staged?
It's always positive, so it's just a question of getting them to the point where they accept that it's a necessary part of the process, and that by doing it, they will get their money back, and probably, it is an investment. I think you're right in that respect. They'll make money from having spent some money up front.
Yeah.
I will say that I've found with the staging at Red House that the properties we've staged, I think all of them have sold within 30 days, and a number of them have sold within 2 weeks, and we have had multiple offer situations too. So we've certainly found that to be true as well.
And that's in the stiff market. Curious question. We started working with you...
what, a year ago?
Was it a year ago?
I think so.
Were you staging your vacant properties before then?
No.
No. And how do you find in your, how long have you been a realtor?
6 years.
In your 6 years experience as a DC realtor, how do you see vacant properties selling versus occupied properties selling?
Well, I think people got away with a lot of things during the boom market, and so people were able to just put something on the market and sell it. Sometimes the product wasn't even finished, but as the market slowed and people became more they were more selective in terms of what they purchased, then you started to see that I think it made a huge difference. And it probably would have made a difference even during the good years. But now that things have slowed, people are certainly more selective, so you need that emotional connection with buyers in order for them to take the leap and actually move forward. I honestly would not sell a property vacant now.
No, you would stage it.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a homeowner that doesn't want to stage their vacant property?
We've run into it before, and I push hard because I believe in it as much as I do. We actually now offer to pay for the second or third month, if it were ever necessary, on the market for our clients, because I found that everything that we're putting on the market that's staged sells in the first month. So I do that as an incentive to try to get people to do it, and I don't, ultimately I would still try to sell it if it were vacant, but I certainly don't feel nearly as good going into the process.
Right. And so let's talk about occupied properties, because we do the same techniques to an occupied property as we do with a vacant property. Yep. So it's the same formula with with someone living in their home. You want to depersonalize it, declutter it, neutralize it, and elevate the appeal as much as possible. So we can go into one of your listings, home, and meet with the homeowners and give them a game plan of what they can do to make their home look as beautiful as a model home.
Right. We've been doing this for a little while now, where every property that we bring to the market, we have that take place. So if it's vacant, we push hard to get them to stage it. If it is already occupied, we have a consultation, and then we come back and go through and have the final touches made. We're just starting to do this work with you, but it's something that we've provided to our clients over the last few years, and it's again, absolutely critical. Anytime I see a property that has been on the market, it's not been staged by another agent, I know that if it doesn't sell, that that's somebody who I could have success selling that property with, because
You'll stage it.
we'll stage it. And I know that's one of the big reasons it wouldn't have sold.
That's good. And how do you feel, what's it like in the industry among you realtors? Do most of you get staging, and are you ever nervous to show a home that is listed by maybe another realtor that you know doesn't stage their properties? Is there ever a nervous factor for you to take a buyer to a property that may not have been staged?
There is. I mean, it looks bad. If I take a buyer into a property and it's not been staged and it looks really shoddy, that reflects poorly on me. And so we actually advertise in our listings where we've staged it that the property has been professionally staged. To the agents only. We don't say it to the buyers, but I think it's important for an agent to know that, because that way they know that their clients will be impressed. So it's something we've emphasized during the process.
Good. So among realtors,
Oh,
staging's...
You know, I would say the best agents know that it's crucial. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of properties you'll see and a lot of agents who don't promote it as much as it should be.